What's up, Lorehounds? It's Cooper here outside the Earthfall booth where we're about to get mauled by this guy who just killed Chris Archer and myself. So you're the executive producer behind this game. You're also the weapons and combat designer and the guy who does the trailers. What else do you do? Because that seems to be just not enough.
As many hats as we can wear. You know, we're indie developers, so we do as many tasks as possible. It's also a lot more fun when you get to do all those different things.
All right, so Earthfall is coming from HoloSpark. You guys are basing this game in your home territory of the Seattle area, correct?
We are. It actually takes place in a generic Pacific Northwest. We actually fashioned it after what we call like the North Bend area, east of Seattle, like in the woods. And so effectively what's happened is an Earthfall has occurred, right? Aliens have rained down. This is a year later, and they've pushed the people back into areas that aren't as occupied.
So we basically lost the cities, and we're now like fighting from the rural suburban areas?
Some of the cities are totally destroyed. Some of them, right, they're inundated with, or covered with aliens, and so they're regrouping. And so this is a ragtag bunch of four characters that have banded together to try to push back the horde.
So, that's the story behind the game, which obviously Lorehounds we love, and it is sci-fi. So this is some sort of alien civilization. Do we know if this is like just the front? Is this the actual invasion, or is this the scout ship?
It's a real. I'm not going to expose the whole story for you today. You guys will have to find out. But I mean, there is a story behind it, and that's actually something we do a little bit different in this game than some of the others. We actually have objective-based gameplay within kind of that Left 4 Dead feel, right? And so each time you get to an objective, there's a little bit more storytelling that happens. The characters are communicating with each other, and it starts to expose what actually the aliens are up to. And as you go through campaign 1, you start to go from we're totally overwhelmed to wow, we're starting to learn about what makes these guys tick. You start to see weapons that are exposed, that are created from those findings, and things actually happen along the way.
So it's not gratuitous violence for the gratuitous violence sake. You're actually going to solve something, hopefully.
We do. We like the gratuitous violence, but yeah, you're actually solving something as well.
Okay. So you touched on it a little bit right there. Obviously, you're kind of a riff off Left 4 Dead.
Sure.
But if I was going to tell my friends, because this is a multiplayer co-op first-person shooter, what is my 30-second pitch to get them? What is the hook to get their attention?
Well, I mean, Left 4 Dead is a huge inspiration to us. It's 4-player co-op, right? So if you love playing with your friends, this is great, right? It's not PvP, right? We're not worried about that right now. The coolest things about this game are that you get to play together, get to play against aliens in the Pacific Northwest. We didn't talk about buildables, but you can build turrets, you can build fences, which actually create that sort of horde mode defense aspect.
As part of the campaign.
And it's actually, we've layered this gameplay in. In a lot of games, you just have the A to B gameplay or the horde mode, and we've actually layered those in. So you actually, different points of the game, you're playing different types of gameplay experiences. So that's really cool. And then, actually knowing like having a 30,000-foot story is really interesting. It's really hard in a first-person shooter to tell story, but we do our best job to kind of like have a story instead of just shooting.
Yeah, it's not in your face because you're immersed and you're like figuring these things out. And which is nice because people who just don't care, they don't need to, it's not like a cutscene goes in front of them and really annoys them.
There's no talking heads. If you want more story, you can find it. I mean, if you look around a little bit and take your time, you'll see interesting things in the world. And if you listen to the dialogue as it goes on, you'll start to pick up things that are really interesting.
So, what are the length of the campaigns, and like how long could we expect to play this? We've seen, we first saw you guys last year, and now it was polished then, it's polished now, and you have a new map or a new campaign. How many more can we expect?
Well, we're gonna early access in April, end of April, so it's coming up.
Which is pretty soon.
Right, really soon. It'll be the first campaign. We're gonna have 2 campaigns. The first campaign will release at early access. It's 4 maps. We haven't really timed them out too much, but as you played and I played, we got dominated pretty hard in that first map. So, I mean, we expect people to play through a bunch of times and explore different ways to experience the game. But there'll be 4 maps in the first campaign. Later on, if you buy it at early access, later on you'll get the second campaign for free as well.
So we actually, you know, since then we've also saw some other things added. There's badges and stuff like that now. We can expect to continue that kind of development through early access.
Absolutely. Like, you know, I mean, we could, you know, we're a small group, so we can only do so much, but we want it to be a polished experience. So anything we put in the game for early access, we want it to be as polished as possible. If it's not, it's just going to wait till later, and we'll just keep adding modes, we'll keep adding levels, we'll keep adding new creatures and weapons and things like that.
So what's the expected price point then?
We haven't announced the price yet, but we're going to be announcing it really soon, and we'll let you know.
Thanks so much, Chris. Go check it out, Earthfall.
Thanks, guys.